Okay, we are live. It is Tuesday. We are needle felting today. Why am I hearing myself? Oh, there we go. Sorry, I was like, why? That shouldn't be. No, stop it, Windows 11. I don't want it to go to some weird configuration, thank you. Okay. Hmm. Alright, so I'm just checking my colors here in my reference photo. Was it reference 1? So reference 1. Okay. So there is our reference photo. Sorry, again, haven't been able to sleep lately, so when I did fall asleep, I didn't want to get up, and I was like, crap, we need to get up. And sorry about my finger, but Band-Aid had to come off. It needs air now. It's not too bad, but so we last left off working on this area. And I'm still not sure about tomorrow's stream, by the way. It kind of depends on what's doing tomorrow morning and how much sleep we've gotten. Because the storms are supposed to be coming through um, like around midnight and be here overnight again. Yay. So we'll see what happens with that. I will try to get something in tomorrow. Maybe it might be a little bit later. I'll have to let you know on that. Kind of depends on what happens. There's a chance we might not get anything here. It might miss us. Last time it seemed like they were going to miss us. We didn't get any warnings in our specific spot, but the weather people here were real nervous, and they were watching everything fairly closely. Some of the storms were spinning. We got some hail, like a fair amount of hail. Like you could hear it being thrown against the side of the house. I have no idea what size it was because I couldn't get near the windows to look because I was stuck holding the dog because the husband was in the bathroom, like going potty. So wasn't able to really get a good look. By the time I was able to look, it pretty much stopped hailing. And why was I holding the dog, you say? Well, the dog was freaking out because of the thunderstorm. And was most decidedly distraught about it. So, wasn't a whole lot that I could do. If I put him down, he was gonna start climbing furniture. Like, not like a couch or something. We don't have a couch. Um, he would start like trying to climb tables and um storage boxes and all of the things that he can't climb on because he will hurt himself. Like, if it was just climbing up on the bed or, you know, a sofa or something, I'd be like, yeah, whatever, that's fine. But when he starts trying to climb up on things that A, are a little too tall for him to climb up on with his old man legs, and he was just in a blind panic at that point where it was just like, the sky is falling, the sky is falling, oh my god, the sky is falling, and nothing we were doing was appeasing him except for standing up and holding him because he keeps trying to get high, which I don't understand. We've never flooded or anything. Like, this boy doesn't even want to walk through a puddle either, though, so. But we do what we need to make the old man happy. Or at least we try to. Yeah, just a little drop of water, flicked most of it back in the cup. And I'm just gonna kind of shape my piece here. You don't have to do this. This is more of just a personal preference of mine. Most people just take their fluff and lay it down. I find it lays down a little bit better doing it this way, but that's just me. I mean, you do it long enough, everybody's gonna come up with their own way of doing something. So I hope everybody's Tuesday is going well so far. I decided not to record the chicken that I'm working on for my mom after all. Things started out well, and then everything started fighting me all at once, and I was like, oh my. So, like, mistakes started happening. And I'm okay with there being mistakes, I am. To be quite honest, her eyesight is bad enough, she's not going to really notice the mistakes all that much anyway. But it's also becoming a frustrating piece because on this particular kit, I don't know if they AI generated the color key or if someone was just being super sloppy when they did the color key, but it sort of becomes choose your own adventure. Now, the last one I did, there was like a couple of spots where you kind of had to figure out what the color was supposed to be based on the photo. So there was a couple spots where I was like, I don't know. I guess I just have to pick something. This theme, if you will, has continued into this next kit. Except they have missed more spots in this one where they have not explained what color number you are supposed to be using. They showed it for one spot, and then a next spot doesn't really say and you have like 3 shades of the same sort of color, and it's like, excuse me, what's this supposed to be? So then, because this is only the second kit I've worked on, well, second and a half, because I am working on the learning different stitches kit, as I have time. I was kind of left sitting there staring at the color stitch key, and I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, well, is this color anywhere else at all? And I'm staring at this picture, and the picture is tiny, by the way. And I'm only seeing it in this one spot, but they gave me 2 strands of this color, and I'm like, but is it somewhere else? And I see this one tiny spot on the other chicken, and I'm like, what color is this? Is it one of the other 2 shades of red they have on this, or is it this shade of red? And I think it was that shade of red, the only spot on that bird where that shade of red was. And I'm like, okay, sure. And then I noticed I started checking all of the colors, like every single spot where they were talking about, oh, this is here, this is this many strands, do this stitch here. And I'm like, okay, okay. I then realized they gave me what looks to be a shade of black. And nowhere in the color key that I saw, I may have missed it, but nowhere that I saw did it explain where this was going. And I'm like, the fuck? And I then noticed that the center of the eyes seemed to be this shade. And I was like, okay, well, what stitch is this? Doesn't say. I don't know if it's a straight stitch or a French knot. I have no idea. I have no idea. So I'm like, okay, this really is becoming a choose your own adventure. I mean, I liked it because it was a fairly inexpensive set of kits, all things considered, but this does not feel, and it said for beginners, but it really doesn't feel like it's for beginners. This feels like maybe for intermediate, because of these headphones are not holding a charge. This is not good. Shoot. Yes, low battery. What am I gonna do here? I don't know what I want to do. So these headphones are gonna cut out. Right, so I guess I'm gonna have to switch to the other headphones. Alright, let me stop that. Okay. You know what, let me close that because it's gonna start to play. Okay, give me 1 second. There might be a slight echo here for a minute. I gotta figure out why these suddenly are being stupid about charging. Maybe it was that charging port. Okay, so either it's the headphones battery giving up the ghost, or are these on? Or it's for some reason just wasn't charging through the heck, just wasn't charging through the port. Now I'm gonna have to deal with hearing myself. Because these headphones or earbuds are tagged to my Kindle. And let me see. Don't. Okay, that seems to be coming through there. Okay, can I... Bear with me here 1 second. Let's see if I can get to... this. Okay. I don't know if this will let me hear the... Oh, but it stopped my... It stopped my Spotify. Okay. Right, so we're just gonna have to do it this way. I have another set of headphones, but those ones are still in the box and not charged. So those aren't gonna help me at all. So that's fun. I was worried when that set of headphones, when I plugged them in, said 50%, or it said 60%, and I was like, these have been plugged in all night. Why are they at 60%? Like, they were plugged in at like 11 o'clock. They only take 3 hours to charge. Something's not right. So I don't know if that particular USB was not charging overnight. I plugged it into a wall adapter and it is now, like, the charging light's on. But when I put them on, it went from 60 to 50 in like a blink of an eye. And I only had them on like maybe 5 minutes before stream started, and we're what? Where are we? We're 19 minutes into stream and it's like low battery, low battery. I'm like, how did you go from 50% with only Spotify playing in 20 minutes? That's crazy. Okay. Oh, I didn't show you guys the new folder I got. So this is the new embroidery stand. So far I like it. It's a little awkward to have my hands under here, but it's pretty sturdy, and then I can be hands-free to do some of the other fancy stitches. So this is what her chicken looks like so far. It's a set of chickens. is okay. Can I as hmm, interesting. I did not hear stream avatars through my headphones. Why? Why did I not? Hmm. Ah, is that why? Hmm. Probably. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. So, yeah, that was the from Dinkum. Let me see. What was that? Oh, dang it. I didn't mean to do that. I don't know how to fix it. Okay, there we go. How do I? I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask the husband when he gets back. Because I definitely didn't hear it in my headphones. Yeah, no, it came through my computer speakers that I just turned all the way down. Well, that doesn't help things when I am having to switch to these. So I might be a little bit slower to acknowledge messages today. I do apologize. Since I'm not hearing the chat notifications. And someone says something. So I found my extra black embroidery thread. I didn't end up getting rid of it after all. I was thinking that I must have because I couldn't find it, but then last night I was like, you know what, let me check one last place, and it was in that place. So I'm going to try to embroider the background of the name canvas just to fix like the weirdness that's going on there with like the accidental pokies and things. So my husband looked at me, he's like, you're gonna, he's like, oh. Once he understood what I meant, he's like, yeah, have fun with that. Like, yeah. So, work in this section in here. So we are working on the very bottom color, just so we're all on the same page, because I know sometimes I work on stuff upside down, but this is we are working on it right side up at the moment. So this is going to be that dark bottom color. And I did finish the tissue paper prep for the tissue paper version of this. At least I think I have finished the prep. I've at least got enough to get started. I was sitting there twisting paper and I'm like, man, I just don't know if I have enough yet. I don't know if I have enough yet. And I didn't really worry about if I had enough yet when I was working on the big piece because it was 36 by 48, and I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna have to twist more as I go anyway because my little tiny snack size Ziploc bag is full. Um, and I had to like fill those for some of the colors like twice or almost twice. And I had to keep stop and looking at the size canvas that I was gonna do, and I'm like, girl, you're doing an 8 by 10 for this one. You might have enough for the amount that you're gonna need. So, you know, it's gonna be okay. And if you run out, well, you'll just have to twist more. It's fine. We've got the paper. I more than have the paper. So grab this piece. Now this is jam from Paintbox. And it's from their Simply Chunky line. They have a super Simply Chunky, but this is from the Simply Chunky. And I went with the Simply Chunky line from them because it was the same price as the others at the time because they were having a sale. And I was like, well, these balls are kind of small. These skeins of yarn were on the smaller side compared to like the Big Twist value skeins. So I was like, well, the 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 strands of the yarn are a little bit thicker because it's the chunky. So I was like, maybe I'll get more fluff out of it than if I got like the regular like Aran or DK or whatever. So that's why I ended up with the Simply Chunky. And I haven't run out of any color yet. I'm close on Soft Fudge. I thought I was actually going to end up running out of it when I was refilling the fluff bags the last time. I probably could have fluffed the remainder, but I was getting tired of fluffing because I found it towards the end of the my fluffing I don't know what to call it, my fluffing extravaganza. I'm sorry. The mother-in-law just got up and she was out in the kitchen doing something that was banging something. It sounded like she was breaking something, or maybe my mom was out there doing something. I don't think the husband's back yet. No idea what she could have possibly been doing to make that sound. I didn't think we had any ice left. And it sounded like she was trying to break ice, unless it was my mom. And I don't know if Mr. Bean is this. I haven't laid eyes on him yet. She usually kicks him out when she gets up. He almost got out again last night. Russell was trying to gather him up and he was like beelining in a hurry for my mom's door as she was going out. And I heard Russell yell and I was like, Rig, and I was not in a position to jump up real quick. I had to find my shoes. I had to put my bowl in the sink because there was chocolate syrup in it because I had ice cream, and I was trying to find my flashlight real quick, and as I'm running out into the kitchen to put the bowl somewhere where the other animals weren't going to get into it, I saw Mr. Bean run in front of me, and then I saw the husband. I'm like, oh, thank God. He's like, sorry, your mom managed to block him before he could do anything stupid. I'm like, okay, but the last thing I heard was you scream at Mr. Bean no, and I heard you running. So, and like I heard a door slam, so I was like, what was I supposed to think from the other room? He's like, no, if it was that big of a problem, I would have yelled for you. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know if you would have, but okay. Like, if my mom had her own door that shut, she could just shut that door and not worry about Mr. Bean getting in there when she was going in and out, as long as he wasn't in the room to begin with. But, like, the only rooms in this house that seem to have doors are the bathroom and the mother-in-law's bedroom. And none of these doorways seem to be like a standard size. So it's not as simple as just getting a door. It's going to be a little bit more complicated than that. The way that hallway is set up, I'm not sure if we could even, and the way her room is set up, I'm not sure if we could actually get a door in there. We can't do a barn door because she's got pictures on the wall. Like a rolling door. So I don't know at this point. I just want to sell this dice and be done and move on with the next chapter of our lives, but she won't let us. Like, my mom won't let us. So we are stuck here for who knows how long. But not much we can do about that, so. Been all kinds of equipment driving by our house today. Like rumbly loud road equipment. And the husband said they seem to be grading an intersection just down the street from us. And it looks like they're gonna be repaving it. Which is kind of strange because I thought they had just repaved it. Sorry, there's some kind of like loud equipment sound outside. It's very distracting. I was trying to see what was gonna go by because like the one piece of equipment has driven by like 4 times. And I didn't quite understand why it was driving by. I thought, oh, well, maybe they needed to refuel it. Hey.
Hmm.
Sorry, just asking the husband a question. Here. Now I'm gonna try something real quick. I'm gonna switch scenes real quick.
I was gonna say, don't you have it on another scene?
Alright, so give me 1 second. I want to see if this works first. Okay, that time I heard it in my ears. So,
Okay, so if you scoot for a second,
yeah. How do I get that off the screen? Give me 1 second, y'all. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm gonna try it one more time. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so we fixed that mystery. And I'll tell you, last night we were laying in bed trying to fall asleep, and somebody went driving by or was in the car wash down the street at like 2 a.m. with their music blasting so damn loud, like our our walls were vibrating at one point. I was like, "Are you kidding me? It is 2 a.m." Like, oh my god, you people have no self-awareness. Absolutely crazy. I'm going to go just slightly over the edge here just so I can like, try to get that edge covered. I mean, it'll be covered by the frame that we're going to build, but Just trying to make sure that we are all good. So we're supposed to get this severe weather tonight. We'll see if we get it. But I think one of the things that might be working in our favor is it's very cloudy right now. Very, very cloudy. So at least we don't have the sun out full blast, adding to things. So fingers crossed that we don't have too bad of a time tonight. We are coming into our spring severe season, so who knows? Oh my god, I don't know what this hum is, but dear lord, it needs to stop. I don't think it's our neighbor's truck. I don't even think he's home. I could have tried to pair these earbuds to my PC, I guess, but I already have them paired to my Kindle, so it's just easier that way. Okay, let's see. Alright, I still have the smallest amount of gray kind of poking through there. From the base felt. Here on top of that. Not a big deal if you have a thin spot, or if you see your bottom color poking through, just add some more fluff on top. And work that into cover that spot. It happens. The fluff is gonna fluff, fiber's gonna fiber. Sometimes it wants to be a little bit thicker in one spot and a little bit thinner in others. It's not a huge problem. I'll just add some more. surprised the wind chimes aren't bleeding through. It's fairly windy out. We were gonna put our husband was gonna start to put the outside stuff back out last night. I'm like, no, don't. He's like, why? I said, we're supposed to have severe storms again tonight. It's like, oh. I was like, that's why I didn't put anything out. That's why the recycling is like climbing the kitchen wall, because I don't want it out to blow everywhere. Okay. So I'm going to switch to pale lilac. And this is gonna come and sit just on this bottom. So I'm gonna turn this sideways for right now, just to make this a little bit easier for me. Start working this in here. Now I'm gonna overlap it a little bit on top of the darker purple that we've already got laid in here. And we're not gonna worry if it's not like perfectly overlapped, because we're gonna do a little bit more with that here in a minute. Right now I just kind of want to get this color started. And we will from there. Alrighty. Now we've got all of this coming in. So this is gonna run the length of here. This going in that. Okay, you know, we're good. Okay. I'm just trying to correlate my lines from memory to how I was laying it out from the photo. Sometimes my brain will see it one way when I am laying in the working sketch, and then when I come back to start putting the color in, I'm like, why did I do that? That's weird. This worked into here. Are getting fussy. Sorry, I heard somebody make a noise. Seeing what they were getting fussed at. So when do you have to start her chili?
Oh, that would taste like it.
No, I didn't.
I just need a few before it starts.
I thought you had to soak beans. Oh no, that was the soup.
No, this stuff I just use in canned beans.
Oh. So is that heavy rumbling sound coming from them down the corner?
Probably.
That is distracting. So again, we're just gonna fill in this strip. But as I fill it in, going to be doing a little bit of a wispy overlap. I suppose would be like the best way to describe it. Bless. Bless. We have sort of like a misty kind of like swirly bit kind of coming down here. Oh my goodness, cow cow. What are you meowing at? Oh, he's meowing at you. It seems to want the husband's attention, something awful. Oh, dang it. I forgot to put the dishes away. Do I need to go take care of that real quick?
Take care of what?
Putting the dishes away?
If you're willing, that'd be great. But...
Alright. I'm not going to worry about the very edge because that's going to get covered and trimmed just a tiny bit. So let me go take care of that. I'll be back in like maybe 5-6 minutes. All right, sorry about that. You do.
I don't think he did anything.
Okay. So we're just gonna go back to adding in this shade of purple here. Just be stabbing that on in. So what is everybody up to? I just your background buddy. Trying to get some other work done. Are you doing art? Are you doing like office work? What y'all up to? Feel free to hang out in the Lurkers Lounge. As we just kind of stab away at our fluff here. So I'm just using a single needle. It's a small needle. It was size S. That's all I can tell you. My toolkit came with S, M, and L sized needles, so I take that to be small, medium, and large. I did not see a gauge number anywhere listed, so I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine on that. There are, and I have my kit came with a wooden handle to put the needle in. I do strongly recommend a handle of some description because the needles are kind of tiny and awkward to hold on to. And it's just like a little metal L shape to hold on to, so that gets kind of uncomfortable if you're going to be doing a large amount of work with it. Plus, the needle holder handle, at least on this one, counts as a cover to keep the needle from breaking and to keep you from stabbing yourself. When you flip it around, you can store the pointy bit in the handle. For lack of a better description there. Like it's tapping my keyboard tray, so it's making all kinds of creaking noises there. Sorry about that. That is gonna happen. Mhm. So again, we're just kind of filling in this swath with this shade of purple. And as I work my way down, I'm going to start to fill in some more wispy bits here. Hold on a second here. Um, okay, I can deny that. It's not a stream unless I have to report and ban at least one person, right? Okay, welcome to my ban list. Now let's see. Yeah, so as we go and work our way down here, I'm going to start adding in some more little overlaps here over the darker purple section. Now they do make handles out there that can hold multiple needles. I personally don't like them. I've tried it. My kit came with one that holds up to, I think, 8 needles. As silly as it sounds, I found it very heavy. When trying to use it, my arm got real tired real fast. And it seemed like I was just constantly missing areas that I was trying to aim for. So if it, I mean, it's gonna come down to what you prefer to work with, but you don't have to use the multi-needle handle. I didn't really find it making it go faster at all for me. So the single needle will get the job done too. It might take maybe a little longer, maybe the same amount of time. Depends on how picky, I guess, you're gonna be about how it's attaching, but I personally did not like the multi-needle handle. A little bit more fluffy stuff. I want this to kind of straddle both colors, the color that it's part of, and then this darker color below it. So it looks like it is part of it. Trying to overlap it, kind of give it that this color is kind of drifting down on top to try to push this other color back just a little bit further. Now I am using smaller bits here at a go. Again, personal preference is what that is going to come down to. I kind of like the idea of and practice of moving slower and adding smaller amounts in because I can add more. Um, but it's a lot harder to take away without um, messing up what you've already done in a spot that you might have liked how that was coming out. And then you kind of have to go back and fix it. I just find that it's easier to start out slower and just add on more as it kind of develops and comes together. Because then it's like, okay, I can take a step back. Do I really need more here? How do I feel about this, sort of situation. Now the piece, the reference photo that I'm working off of, the the dark section's a little bit bigger than it is on mine, and the purple on the top is a little bit bigger as well, but I have a smaller area to work with here, so my colors are going to be a little bit more, color sections are going to be a little more squished. It's not going to be like an exact copy of the reference photo, and it shouldn't be, but we're going to try to get it similar, or as similar as we can. Now, there are times where I am following along with Bob Ross here, but we are kind of in the middle of following along with a magnet series, but I just wanted to take a little bit of a break to work on something else for just a minute. Nothing wrong with that. So, give me 1 minute. Sorry about that. So I'm gonna bring like the misty section just kind of over the top of this because I don't want to lose a lot of our dark spots. Some bits of fluffer easier than others to try to wispify here. Oh, pretty. Sounds like Mr. B and Ed having a disagreement from the other room. So, in the next bit up here. What are you doing? Oh, cats being cats. I mean, like, I can scrape that down on top, but I still want a little bit of extra overlap there. And I need to figure out how I want to. Just a minute. that. All right. See if we can get back to work. Or at least get a little bit more done before someone needs something else. I might switch into summer hours early because we're gonna have to start taking the doggo later in the day because temperatures are going to be rising and the pavement's going to be too hot. So we might have to switch into a later streaming hour. I don't necessarily want to do that, but if we got to, we got to. Like, it can't be super extreme up all night because I still have people to feed and what have you. Things that need to be done during the day, but let me just see. Alrighty. Maybe about there-ish. Right there looked a little bit thinner. I'm not sure if that was actually the case, but kind of looked a little questionable in that spot as to whether or not I was actually covered there. That was the base color kind of shining through. With this light gray, it's kind of hard to tell when I'm working on with a lighter color if that base felt color is popping through. Sometimes you can get an idea by looking at the back. If you've stabbed through a certain area very much. So like, yeah, like right in there it's a little bit thin, but it might be alright. And if you are doing your own, feel free to tag me on Blue Sky. I'd love to see how yours is coming out. We get some more work done on my mom's. thing on the chicken. We'll see. We'll see how frustrated I get with the instructions. Because last night I was just kind of sitting there staring at it like, what in the ever-living frick is happening? Like the last one wasn't quite so lacking, I guess, but I don't know, man. I certainly haven't gotten super far on it. Now, if you are having trouble getting like the little wispy guys, you could like kind of lay in a little bit and just gently scrape the bottom edge of the purple, the light purple over top of the dark purple, and then just kind of start tapping it in once you've got it spread out as much as you want it to be. That's also an option. And the more spread out the fiber is, it'll kind of look a little bit stringy. So if it's like super fine strands, it might just kind of disappear into the other color in spots. So you might need to add a little bit more on top of it if you don't like how it worked in. That's fine, it can happen. Sometimes it can be a little too like thin in the middle and just kind of look like a weird outline. In which case, just add a little bit more tiny little poof of fiber. Okay, so I'm just kind of making sure that this bit is attached to my preference before we move on to the next bit here. Don't forget, you do want to pop up off of your mat periodically. And I'm just gonna turn my mat here so we're working in a different spot on it. I know it doesn't really look like I have anything in my hand, but I've got a little teeny tiny poof ball. Not believe it is 74 degrees out in March. What is happening? This is crazy. So again, I'm just gonna kind of line that up close to my pen line here. Doesn't have to be completely on the pen line, just close to it. I don't want to go way over it because there's going to be another color coming in there that's going to cover up a lot of it. So just so that I don't have a lot of unnecessary overlap there. Alright. So let's get this worked into here. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Jumped up suddenly fast. What's wrong?
Nothing. I'm gonna get started on food and then dishes.
Oh, you just like suddenly jumped up. Getting this guy all tapped into place here. So this shade is Pale Lilac. I wasn't sure if I wanted this color or like the vintage Heather, which is a little more of a grayer, darker light purple, if that makes sense. But that felt like it was going to be maybe a little too dark. It might have worked a little bit better on this color, like on top of it, but I need a little bit of brightness here so it doesn't look too weird. Okay. Kind of tack that down in place there. And see if I can scrape some of this the bottom edge just to kind of spread it out a little bit. And I do apologize for all the interruptions, but like I've said previously, the mother-in-law is back for a couple of months. And whenever I'm streaming, she decides that she needs to tell Russell a bunch of stuff that is completely insignificant and could have waited a little while. It didn't really matter. Or she needs something right that second. And she also... You alright?
Yeah. Wait for all to be done making lunch.
Oh, you laid down when you said you were going to go do something else. She also might have her voice bleed in through the microphone because she likes to get the dogs wound up. So I can't control her voice volume at times. Hey, at least I remembered to unmute the mic this time. I will say, time is just flying by today. But then again, we also like started stream on time today, so like I didn't start early like I originally wanted to, but that was my own fault for not getting up soon enough. Chance to eat anything before we got started here. I haven't had my alarm set for a while. I turned the alarm off. I was originally getting up like around 8. But I turned it off when we went away, and I didn't need it when we went away because we weren't sleeping anyway. Like more than like 2-hour time blocks, and it's like, okay, what time is it? Oh, okay, let's try to fall back asleep. And then I'd wake up again, and then we were so unused to the hotel beds, they were just killing our backs. I mean, a couple of them were exceptionally hard. Some of them weren't so bad though. But just the fact that it was a different surface than we were used to sleeping on we were just waking up and we're like, oh God, I cannot lay here a second longer. And that would be at like 5 a.m. So we didn't really need an alarm because we were awake. It's just how we are when we're traveling. We're up, we're ready to go. Probably because we're just in strange surroundings that we're not used to being in, and just not our our familiar um, bases, I guess. Nothing to do with feeling unsafe or anything. We just anxiousness being someplace different. I mean, even when we were in Key West, I was waking up at like 5 a.m., 4:30 a.m. like without an alarm. But I took advantage of that and would try to catch sunrise. I didn't try the one like a couple of days, but then after I kept waking up, I was like, I want to go do the thing. And the husband's like, well, I'm going back to sleep. I was like, oh, okay, so I guess I'm gonna go by myself then. That was a little anxiety inducing, but we had walked down to where I was going a couple of times together, so I knew where I was going. And there wasn't really a whole lot of people, and the one area was like nobody was really up at that time of the morning anyway. I mean, there were more people that would show up the closer it got to sunrise. Um, and the one spot was kind of busy, but the one section was like in between two resorts, and I'm sure they had security cameras because the one property kept having security come out and chase people that were standing on this one section that was technically on their property. Like they were climbing a fence in on the hotel, like definitely hotel property, and they're like, no, you guys can't be here. I'm like, I'm on the city street. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not up there. But people kept climbing up and being weird at like 6:30 in the morning. I'm like, really? Too early for this nonsense. And I will say, the couple of sunrises I did catch seemed to put on a better show than some of the sunsets that I saw, which was kind of surprising. I'd really wanted to see sunset from where the farmers market was taking place, but we never really made it over there, and the farmers market was canceled the one day because of the hurricane, and we weren't there for the next one. I think we left the day before. So this one's gonna take a little bit of time to get all of our colors layered in here because this is a little bit of a larger guy. But I just wanted to take a break from working so small and I wanted to just work on something different. Let's take a small bit of break. Following along with the Bob Rossi stuff. That seemed a bit excessively fast for this road. I swear they don't have a speed limit posted in this section. But like at the curve down the street from our house, it's like 35, and these people are like whizzing past our house doing like 55, if not more. Which is kind of concerning. Because there's a side street, like one house over from us, that a lot of people turn at. And there have been numerous accidents at this intersection because people aren't paying attention to somebody slowing down and trying to turn, so people keep getting plowed into the back of. Just like, I really need to just slow down. With luck, we'll be able to finish up this purpley swath here. Let me check the weather because it keeps looking like it's gonna rain. Okay, so it is raining to our south at the moment. And there's a tiny blip of a shower to our south. And one trying to form just to our west there. Mr. Doggo might be disappointed today. We will see. So we've got a little bit more that we need to add in here. Okay, so after this color, we need to figure out what pink we're gonna grab. Because there's kind of like, I don't know, like a dark peach kind of color. Not quite a magenta. Like a super light dark magenta, and I know that makes absolutely no sense. I think I know what color I want to use, but I haven't grabbed it yet to lay it on top to see if that's really where I want to go with it. Even though I'm kind of scraping a little bit over that edge, I might add a little bit more in a couple of spots. Just to kind of bring it down a little bit further. Kind of hard to try to get the point that that's supposed to be like a misty section. For me, at least. So they haven't put up any watches or warnings for our area yet. So, I mean, that's a good sign, but they're also kind of saying that it might not get a little wild until later tonight. I'm kind of hoping it doesn't. Hopefully, this early round of rain to our south will kind of take the punch out of it, but these models were a little off on the last round of severe weather that they got everybody all upset about. They had our area in a hatched risk of tornadoes, but we didn't end up having any. They were all just slightly to our west in Oklahoma, like around the Tulsa, Enola area. Which we got lucky because there was a tornado right near the radar site, one of the radars that they use for our area. And it didn't end up doing any damage to the radar, so yay. Because I know some of the weather people were like, oh no. They were really nervous when that was quite so close to the radar. They're like, uh-oh. That radar site, I think, helps service Tulsa and us. Grab another little guy here. Okay, so try to work you in around in here. Hopefully, we'll see, we'll see. But I just kind of wanted to get rid of that weird shape. I want to put something in there too, because that's just kind of like a weird boxy shape. I don't know what's happening there. That was not intended. Like this one's okay because it's a little more curved, but this one just feels weird, so feels like I carved a notch out of that, and I'm like, what is happening? But this is not what was intended in that spot, so we're just gonna fill that guy in a little bit here. Let's grab a bit more fluff and stuff. So let's see about getting this piece worked into here. And again, that's okay if it comes off the edge. Okay. Let's get this kind of tapped in there. I'm gonna need just a little bit more in a tiny spot there. My husband is trying to do the dishes. We don't like it when there's a lot of people in the kitchen when we're trying to do something because it's a small kitchen. And like everybody is kind of like stuck standing on top of each other. And both parentals are in the kitchen being a nuisance. Okay. The mother-in-law was waving at me, and I'm like, I have earbuds in. I can't hear what y'all are saying. I can hear the edge of voices, but I can't make out fully what they're saying. And I'm like, what? Just saying hi. Okay. Oh my goodness. It's gonna be a long couple of months. Alright, so I need a little bit more there. See if we can kind of scrape a little bit of that in. I'm still probably gonna have to lay a little bit more extra fluff in over that. At least Kofi Bot's having a grand old time in the chat. So that's something, right? Okay. So we need just a tiny bit more on this bottom section. Kind of on the edge here. I do apologize for being extra distracted today. I am easily to distract on a good day, and I am tired, so that's not helping matters. The fact that I'm in these headphones, which is making, or these earbuds, which is making everything seem oh so much louder than they normally are. And just all of the activity going on around me, it's hard to focus because it's like, what on earth is going on out there? Because mother-in-law was hovering, and it's like, what is the problem? What is the matter? A bit more stuff. Plus, there's the weird, like, extra equipment humming noises coming from outside today, which are really super distracting. There's a bit here. And that we're kind of work into there, or at least try to. Okay, so with that, we'll need this color again, for the top section, but for right now, I think we are good to fit that to the side. Let's see, what time is it? All right, we've got a little bit more time still here today, so we have to figure out what this pink color is going to. Not sure. Like, it's almost a corally color, but it's a little more pink than that. I guess it's gonna be bubblegum pink. Desk meet me. Yeah, I guess so. Like, I was thinking dark coral, but it's a little too orange. Like, it feels a little muddy for this. Okay. So I'm gonna start to work on this section. Now again, it's okay if we go over this line. It's not a huge problem. I just don't want to be like too far over it, because it's gonna get covered up anyway, but this kind of means the less that we have to end up covering in the end. And just basically doing the same thing that we did with
Sorry.
oh, that's okay. I thought something fell over. I was like, what the heck? Husband was taking the trash out. He kind of scared me. I thought the cats knocked something over there for a minute. Alright, so this section all tapped or stabbed in, however you want to refer to it as. It is a needle, so I guess we're kind of stabbing. This kind of works into here. I will say, when you're fluffing out the yarn, or like brushing it out of its plied state, when it's in its plied state, you don't realize how much white that they've added to a shade to try to get it to be that shade until you've fluffed it out, and then you can kind of see the streaks of white in it. Not all colors, mind you, not all of them, but this particular color, I'm kind of seeing some white streaks showing up, and that's fine. I mean, that's just the way this yarn was, but it's just kind of interesting how you can see it when you've fluffed it out and you start working it in. I don't know if that's too pink now. I don't know. So I'm gonna try to overlap these guys. We'll see how it's gonna work. Because these ones didn't really overlap too much here. Wasn't very tightly like I didn't really shape it or anything. I didn't add any water to that bit to kind of pull the fibers together a little bit more. Just kind of letting it do its thing a little bit more. And I definitely want it to overlap this lighter purple. Just so I don't have like a weird hard line between the two. I kind of wanted it a little bit more softer, a little bit more wavy. Not wavy. Okay. Next up here, I grab a little bit more. And try to overlap this guy a little bit more. Probably should have done the next, like, distinctly pink section that wasn't technically overlapped first, but it's okay. It'll be okay. Did I need to help you with anything?
Nope.
Were we taking the boy today? Alright. So it looks like we might be taking him today. Not yet, though. It's not time yet. Still have a good few minutes here. No, I didn't think you could walk away yet anyway.
No, everything's in there now, so
Did you remember to turn the temperature down?
it's not to boil yet.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. Remember, you want to pop up off of your mat when you're done tapping in a color. You want to do it pretty periodically or pretty often. Often would be the better word choice there, excuse me. Alright, so this guy. Let's start to work this piece into here. Okay, so let's try to stay close to that line there on the upper section. I'm saying upper section, left to you guys at the moment, but when we flip it back in the direction it's supposed to be facing, it will be the upper section. And from what I could tell, it doesn't seem like the zoo took any damage from the storms last week. The one tornado came really close. It went over part of the park complex. that the zoo is situated in, but it seems as though it went north of the zoo. I couldn't find any news reports about damage to the zoo specifically, so there's that at least. Mr. Bean seems to have found a fly. I have no idea how the fly got in here or where it came from, but he seems to have found one. Usually summer is fly season here. But at least he has found something to entertain himself with for the next little bit. So you may or may not hear his thunder feet running through the background. He's got such loud feet running through this house. It's kind of amazing because the dogs weigh more than him, and they don't make that much noise. What the heck? The ants seem to have rematerialized. So that's fun. Not really. You have no idea how they're getting in. We've done like all of the things on the outside of the house repeatedly. We've done like the ant barrier sprays and they'll still be like swarming everywhere. We'll do like the ant bait traps, and that'll work for a little bit. It'll at least calm them down a little, but it doesn't last long, and then they start right back up again. Every time I've tried to do a garden outside, they kind of take over the garden and they start destroying my plants, and I'm like, why? Must you be everywhere? So again, just kind of sort of how I did the light purple over the dark purple. I just kind of want to have a little bit of a more varied like line here. I don't want it to be completely straight where it's overlapping. I want it to have a little bit more of a wiggle, I guess. A wobble, whatever you want to refer to it as. Oh wow, so some of the sounds from him doing the dishes in the other room are bleeding through on the microphone. That's fascinating. At least I don't seem to hear the podcast that he's listening to out there bleeding through, so that's good. Okay. So he's still doing dishes. I try to go a little bit further here. Maybe one more bit of pink. This pink is very fluffy. Very fluffy. It's kind of funny how some of the colors have different textures, I guess just because of how the dye was, maybe. Because it's all acrylic. Some of them feel more coarse than others. Some of them feel more fluffy than others. And I'm talking from the same brand. Like, I know I'm operating with two different brands here that are a slightly different texture, but even like multiple paint box yarns can sometimes have a different feel to them. So I think this frame I'm going to do in black. In black, sorry, I didn't say that quite loud enough for the microphone to grab it. Just because I don't know that I really want to do brown on this one. I feel like black might be a little bit better. Because we're going to have a little bit of some um, black silhouette coming in here with our little like sticky dead flower weed things. Now, I'm not sure if I want to do the sun first. I might do the sun first before we do um, the rest of the background color in the next section. Just so I don't really lose my circle shape to the background section. How are things looking? I need a little bit more right in there, I think. That might be a little too big. Well, I mean, I could fold it over, I guess. Alright, so down in here, I kind of need to exaggerate it a little bit more down towards the darker purple section. But that will be a matter for next week. If there weren't so many distractions and so much going on. That might have been a matter for today, but Like, one of the things was the mother-in-law's like, oh no, I need to tell you right now that Verizon's having trouble. And that, like, I'm receiving a text, but I can't send a reply to the text. And we're like, okay. Like, this is not something that we needed to know right this second. And I'm sure we would have figured it out if the husband had to text somebody, and the only person he could have possibly needed to text or received a text from would have been his mother this morning. Because a lot of the time she will just, excuse me, text him from the other room. Him and I both kind of had the same reaction of like, and I mean, yeah, we have severe weather coming in later, but I'm sure I will be up late watching it, working on something. At least until it starts to get rumbly and I can't work on anything any longer and need to deal with the doggo. Hopefully, this set of headphones will finally be charged. Charging light on it any longer. So maybe this set of headphones decided to give up. I mean, I did put them through their paces for quite a while. I will have to figure that out once we get done here. Alrighty, so I think that will do it for today. So even with all the distractions, we managed to finish the dark purple. We got the light purple worked in. And I know it feels kind of like misty almost in there, but now that I'm looking at it, I don't know how much I like that. I might actually come back in with that like that vintage heather bit and just add a little bit in there over top of that. Just because I don't know, it's an awfully, it feels like there needs to be another transition color in there. I'll think about it. We'll see how that goes, but we'll deal with that next time. Like I said earlier, I don't know about tomorrow's stream yet. It really kind of depends on what happens overnight and if the storms happen when they say they're going to. Um, it will really depend. So I will see everybody hopefully tomorrow. If you're not following on, excuse me, If you're not following on Blue Sky, make sure you are, because if I have to cancel or if it's going to be delayed by a while, I will usually post on there. So the link for that should be down below, along with the link to the Ko-fi and the YouTube channel. And hopefully we'll be able to get tomorrow's stream in on time. We'll see. So stay safe tonight. If you are in an area that's supposed to be getting storms, make sure you have a way to get alerts. And I will see everybody in the next one.